Hello, I am Umbrenero and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is building backgrounds for streaming on Twitch. So this year it has not been a surprise, but I have been doing way more streaming than I have in the past. And I have some backgrounds that are there, but they are not quite what I was really. They were good, but I just wanted to have custom ones so that way, depending on where I'm streaming, things have a little bit of uniqueness. So, I was trying to get a new set of layouts all built, and I'll say it right now. I was doing 3 different streaming layouts, one right after the other. So this one actually took the longest to get the initial part laid out because I had to remember what settings did what and all of that. Timing I wasn't worried about because that I was actually pretty good with. But I wanted to make sure there is a difference between my Twitch layouts and my YouTube layouts. So my Twitch ones, I wanted to make sure they use the background that I made specifically for those ones. But the first part of this video, as you can easily see, is me building my countdown timer leading up to the start of stream, and I wanted it to be very simple and all of that. So the way I started it is honestly by just making a very, very simple starting screen. I did want to add animations to it, but it's like they are not working how I wanted. And actually thinking back to when I recorded this, it's like I could have used a whole other program and I would have been able to do what I wanted. But I didn't think of it at the time. So it's something that might become a goal eventually. We will see. So this is what I came up with, and I felt this was a little bit more cleaner than the other layouts that I had because they didn't have like a glowy box randomly in the middle and stuff like that. So I started adding the starting soon area here, just to make sure that this would work where I wanted it. And you just gotta go with it sometimes and see what will work, what doesn't work. Like, I was having the hardest time of actually getting it placed where I wanted it. So if things aren't evenly placed, that's why, but it happens. But just going through and getting this all laid out. It could have been centered a little bit more, but it is what it is. Got it modified to say soon, and it's like, yeah, this needs to get centered a bit more because that does not look right. Yes, there was some searching for the right spots, but that always happens. Went, tested it. Yep, it looked good. Had the background music all pre-decided, laid out. Keyed out the green background from the countdown video that my husband had found previously and had saved, so I reused some of the elements that he used initially when he made my first countdown timer, just so that way it's something easy and all of that. And then I actually played with some effects to see if I could get anything fun to happen, but not much really came of it. Like, in all fairness. But getting this done was a very painless process, like, in all fairness. But I played more with this one, just trying to figure out were there any effects that would really do anything fun. And in the end, there really wasn't. So, I had to do what I had to do. And I will say right now that there are times where I look like I am completely lost with the editing. Yeah, that's because I was using a setup that I'm not quite used to using for how everything was laid out. I do mine a very specific way, and on this computer it is set up a completely different way. So it is what it is. But with that, we mostly have the countdown video done. And I'll honestly, out of all of the parts of my stream, that is probably the one that takes the longest to do, to actually get set up. Like, yes, I had to do all the other layouts, but they are layouts that don't take really as much time, especially for this video, because I went through the hassle of figuring them all out in my other building backgrounds video. So it is what it is. This one had all of the hard part of figuring out the countdown video, whereas that one had the hard part of figuring out all of these layouts. So, as you've seen, I actually went and copied and pasted over all of the layouts because I do want them to be similar between the different streams that I'm doing. Just, I want them to have the specific colors that go with those streams. And I figured that was the easy way to divide them between what ones they are. So a good little bit here was just making sure all of these were brought over the right way and just double checking what was what. Because some I had locked from when I initially created them, others ones weren't. So it was grouping things that didn't need to be brought together and stuff like that. But the first one here that I ended up eventually getting to just needed to happen. So for my Twitch like border color, I wanted it to be like a pinky purple color. So I had to go in, change all of the borders to this pinky purple color because that's what I wanted it to be. Could I have done that in the countdown video? Probably, but I wasn't sure at that time exactly what color was going to be used, and it took a bit, but in between each I exported the layer and went on to the next one. And yes, I will say I had a checklist on the side telling me what all I had done as I was going because there were so many to do. So with this one again, it was making sure that the border was the right color as I was going. Because one of the big elements I did want to include with these layouts was actually having a spot for alerts, for the chat box to go, and things like that. Because I can change how I want my layouts to be. And if there's a specific spot for those, hey, that's great. Now I just gotta figure out how to get them all hooked up so that way they work. And then I have these little, my break screen and my goodbye screen. And for them, I wanted to have the glow around the edges because that's just how I wanted it. So if this one, I had to try to remember the color I guessed, really. And I'm like, I think that's it. So it's like, well, let's go look, see what the color actually is. But, like, well, that's okay. But it's really purple. Well, I think I need to look. And I went with that one initially. I'm like, that looks okay, I guess. I'm like, well, let's go here so I can grab one of these to actually look at what the color is. Noticed, oh, I'm a bit off. So it's like, yep, let's copy the code, go back and fix the glow so that way it is the actual color I was wanting. And that way it matched the actual borders. Bit brighter. And there it is. So this was a lot of just getting these all laid out and put together in the way that they needed to be done. And I realized the typo, so it's like, yep, let's get rid of that. I'll admit, in my backgrounds for YouTube, I didn't notice that typo right away. It took me a bit to notice it. But again, we go export, and then go on to the next. So my little break screen, same thing. Luckily, all I had to do is go click the option and it was right there. I didn't even need to go and try to find what I was looking for. Makes it go so much faster. And yes, I didn't use the gaming font for this. I just wanted it to look like it was handwritten, so I used the font that I just like. But now it was onto the rest of the layouts, and it was actually easy to find them because it's whatever ones had their own color boxes in this case. So it was pulling them up, changing the outline colors to the actual color, and then exporting yet again. And here I actually got confused because I had two of the same color showing up in my recently used colors. So I was bouncing between the same color, but for some reason getting two different versions of the same color. It's happened before, but it's been a while. But did the same thing as I was doing. And then once I was done with this one, I removed the lower box and elongated the purple one for where like chat would go. Just so that way there'd be more space there. Because some of these were just very simple layouts that just needed to get taken care of. So there, and then here's where I just elongated the one box. And because some of this was so measured out, I knew exactly how big it needed to be. So, thanks for watching, and if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!